What's your favorite Spanish saying?
I would go for no dejes para mañana lo que puedas hacer hoy, which means...
Wait. Can you repeat that?
I heard mañana, that's tomorrow, right?
But that mañana is not really... I think in Spain, that's really unfair. That's also generalizing and really judging.
Oh, sorry.
But no, mañana is important. Yeah, it's in there.
Okay.
And what the saying says is, do not leave for tomorrow what you can do today.
Welkom bij de Goodcha podcast met Mike en Mitch. Wat is jouw verhaal?
Welkom bij weer een nieuwe Goodcha podcast met Mike en Mitch. En dit keer met Aida.
Hallo.
En we gaan vandaag de eerste podcast opnemen in het Engels.
Yes.
Dus we gaan zo meteen switchen. En excuse us for our English. Hopefully we have the subtitles.
Ja.
We zullen zo meteen dus in het Engels praten met Aida. Let's start. Welcome to our
Thank
podcast.
You. Thanks for... thanks for having me. It's very nice.
This is the fifth episode. The fifth episode, and we're glad to have you here.
And this is your first one in English.
First one in
English.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks. I feel really honored.
Maybe we will break through with this podcast.
Or we can move over to Spanish.
Oh yeah. ¿Qué pasa? I know the Spanish from La Casa de Papel.
I have the Duolingo app that you can you can learn Spanish. So I know about manzanas and leche. Yeah, that's all I know.
Nice. Keep on learning.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we have a lot of topics to discuss, to talk about, and we also want to learn more about you and what's your story. But first, I have we always ask just a random question, and it's just a question for you to choose.
Okay.
I didn't.
You.
I'm really curious to see what the question is.
Doesn't know indeed the question. And afterwards, we are also gonna answer the question. You know? Okay. So first, you. Do you choose Dutch food, like typical Dutch food, stampot, eating in the Spanish Riviera, the Spanish coast?
Oh.
Or
I know where you're coming from. Okay.
Spanish food, tapas, and eating in the Dutch coast, Scheveningen. Which one would you choose?
I think I would go for the first one.
Yeah? And why?
Because I like food, I like eating, but what I miss the most is the place, like the richness in the variety of nature and the intensity of the colors and all that. So for me, my eyes are also feeding me. Like what I see feeds me, and that's really... I would go for the first one. What about you guys?
Nice.
Yeah. What would you do?
It's actually not really that difficult because I would rather eat. Well, it's more difficult because I like food indeed.
But do we have to do it also with Spain or with Egypt and Indonesia?
Yeah.
Okay, so
let's do it with Egypt and.
Okay.
So for me, the question would be eating stampot.
Hey, come on! Stampot is good.
It's really good. Yeah.
Egyptian coast or Egyptian food? Well, I would choose stampot in Egypt, in the coast, and then specifically Sharm el Sheikh is really the diving spot of Egypt. And why? Because I've eaten a lot of Egyptian food here in Holland, so I already know what that is about. So let's try something new, stampot in Egypt. And also, your answer was also really good about your eyes are also feeding you. So, the brightness and colors in other countries are like more vivid, more.
I think it's just the sun that makes it that makes that happen.
Yeah,
like the intense sun is not only about the warmth, which is sometimes too hot.
Yeah.
But there's that part which, you know,
Makes
enlightens you in, I don't know, it
Makes
inspires.
everything more vibrant.
It's
Yeah.
vibrant, yeah.
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 What about you?
Yeah, so if I had to pick, and a couple years ago I went to Bali in Indonesia, and I went for a hike up onto like a volcano in the middle of Bali, and in the middle of the night, so that you can watch the sunrise in on the top of the volcano. And
is it Ubud or is it somewhere?
That's it's near there, yeah. So it's a really nice part, and then you have breakfast on there. So I was thinking, right, wow, we have this glamorous breakfast and stuff like that. But when we came up top, and like they handed out our like just like paper boxes, and in it were like 2 boiled eggs, a banana, and maybe a cheese sandwich. So really basic, something I could also eat in the Netherlands.
Oh yeah.
But I was there, and like the sun came up, and like you saw everything, and the whole environment, yeah, and the smell, the sun, the light, the colors, yeah. So I think location really impacts the food. So I agree. Yeah. So
it impacts the taste and the complete experience.
I think so. Yeah.
I think so too.
Or maybe we just haven't had a lot of
or we're missing travel. We're missing travel. Yeah.
Especially
because
now.
of the whole Corona thing.
Yeah. We are hungry of holidays.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, certainly.
That's a good title.
Yeah.
Hungry for holidays.
Exactly.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Let's write it down.
Yeah.
So welcome. Thank you for answering the first random question.
Very nice random question. Very nice.
And we want to learn more about you, but can you tell us, like in 3 sentences, basically?
Oh, wow. That's even
You may use more if that's if it helps. 3 sentences is very.
I always do the
challenging,
the interview application, job interview type of question.
Okay.
No, not 3 sentences. 4 is also good.
All right, start counting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Aida. I'm from Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
I am, first of all, I am not Aida. My name is Aida, because I am more than Aida. Aida is just a title. I think we are all, getting into that, pattern of just identification, and I think we are infinite. We are much more than what our name means or whatever. And besides that, I am also a mom, which is my second priority, and of course a wife. I have that role in my beloved family, and besides that, I'm also one of my priorities. I am a coach. I am a lifeline coach, specialized in self-awareness, self-growth, self-leadership, and and I'm a citizen of the world.
Nice. That's a good introduction of yourself.
4 or 5 lines?
Yeah, 4 lines.
Yeah.
I think.
I allow it.
We can proceed. Nice. Yeah, nice to know you. Now the people are also gonna learn more about you. And I want to touch firstly on the mom part, because in our podcast we try to have our guests tell their stories and have the link with the parenting and children and how to parent. And with you, I think it's really interesting to be a coach for adults, but as a mom, you're also a lifetime coach for your kids as well. So. Also
beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really interested in how you combine that. But first, you have like 2 kids, and they are twins.
Twins, and for the Dutchies, they are called Willem, the boy, and Nassau, the girl.
Nice.
We have reasons behind, funny reasons actually, but they are twins. They are almost 3 years old, and we are in that peak of their growth, of discovery and misbehaving sometimes in my eyes. In their eyes is not misbehaving, and I should respect that. Sometimes it's a little bit. I'm also a human being, and you need to to just understand their process, but sometimes it's too much for the adult to perceive that.
Mm-hmm.
That's also a learning for me.
Yeah.
They are, in my eyes, of course, the funniest, the best thing I have in life, and they teach us a lot. In our case, indeed, both Jordi and I, my husband and myself, we are from the same place, from Barcelona, and we live here already for a few years,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that we had to handle everything ourselves. I mean, and we all, both of us, we have friends, really good friends. But in terms of raising children, well, the first people that come to your mind and to your heart are the grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
And they are not here, they are in Spain. So, it's been a challenge. It is a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But as I was telling you before, you also discover that your boundaries are much farther than what you thought. Because if I really think at the theoretical part of, wow, 2 adults for 2 children, that's pretty like, okay, you need both adults to take care of both children, because I usually count 1 adult per child. And that's how, in our reality, my husband is working full-time, and I'm with the kids most of the time by myself. If I start putting myself limitations in that, I would be really done with the whole story. But what I'm doing is just go with the flow. I'm just trying to handle it and to learn from what I have and all the resources that I have, which is my creativity and the way they behave, because their boundaries are endless. They don't have boundaries in terms of,
it's all about discovering.
So they adapt to your reality. They are so smart, so adaptable to everything. They are sponges, and they respect that. It's amazing how much you can learn from that. So that's the positive side, that you discover that you are more than what you thought.
Yeah.
That you can value yourself more in that sense of, you know?
I can imagine that a lot of parents don't live in that realization, so they're just like going through the motions. They're just experiencing parenting, and they might have how do you say it? Looking for words, but they might not be as prepared or as conscious about how about their possibilities, or about how they could manage or cope. How did you get to that realization that you have more? How was that process? Is there something you can give to other people who are listening? Saying,
well, there was a point that I got really like to the, when you become a parent, your life priorities change completely. You still want, as I said before, who am I? Well, I am a woman with, I consider myself in a humble way, but creative. I'm someone capable to get things done. I'm someone, I'm someone that wants to keep herself intellectually active.
Okay.
And becoming a mom cuts those wings. If you don't manage well. There was a point a year and a half ago where they were, I think when they were 7 months, 8 months, because at the beginning you're so busy that you don't realize it's survival mode. Like bam, bam, and you try with all your heart and all your best, but you are new in this. I don't know how, I always say how it feels having 1 kid, because I only experienced having 2 kids.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know how it feels. It's just that you go with what you have, and at some point you realize, oh, where is that person that was like present 2-3 years ago? You know, fully focused on herself, on the couple, on the job. That's not here anymore.
Yeah.
So
you need to
refine yourself.
Yeah.
You need to find yourself back.
What do you think that happens when you don't do that?
I think you lose yourself.
Yeah.
There's a point when you need to just become present again in your own skin and say, okay, I am a mom, yes, I am a parent, but I'm still that person.
Yeah.
The core of the one before having kids is still here. And then, well, you manage when you reset, when you try to put, not time, because time, as we said, we all have 24 hours. Time management is not realistic. It's just task management. You try to put things in order and try to, set your preferences or your priorities in good order. And that's how I survived, and now how I am living. Because I went through that period of surviving, and now I am living my moment. I am enjoying when I'm with them. I am enjoying when I'm doing my job. I am enjoying when I am with Jordi, and at some point that was all a chaos.
Yeah, it makes.
Yeah.
And is that because of the of having to parent 2 kids, or is that just a thing that every parent a little bit goes through?
I think everyone.
Through the chaos, and then finding your way, and then eventually.
I don't think it's about having twins. I think every parent goes through that process of adapting yourself to your new role, and the huge, probably the biggest responsibility in your life. I think that is it. I don't think it's about having twins or triplets or one single child, because the responsibility is the same for everyone, and that's what is the heaviest part.
Yeah.
And your kids, are they in the saying no phase?
They are now, what I was saying before, in a peak of in the terrible two, they call it.
Yeah.
For me is also
the why and the saying
the
no.
why and the fantastic too. It is heavy for the adult. It is amazing for the kids. How much they are absorbing every minute is unbelievable. And probably we notice more in this case because we are not in our, how do you say that, in our roots zone, let's say. So I am realizing about the process of learning at their place of education, so at the kinderopvang. So I can separate things because one is in Dutch and one is Spain, which is our place, our home. And in both, they are taking great steps. So that they start communicating already when they, in our case, they haven't heard a Dutch word at home, because that's also what they advised us, so that they can master the language, your own language properly, and that they can master Dutch when they listen and they learn Dutch from a native.
I didn't know that.
That is what they've always told us.
Yeah, so they advised you to speak Spanish at home and to have them speak Dutch. Oh, I always thought it was like they always advised to do a combination of.
If you are not native, they say it's better for them to master the language, like to talk properly in your own language. So we have a friend who is from the UK. He will talk to them in English, not me, because I'm not. I mean, I can speak English, and they listen to me talking to my friend in English, which is amazing because they also can learn from that. But the accent, the type of approach, like the because there's much more than the language itself. There's much more. There's melody, there's tone, there's behavior. There's a culture behind. So, and that's the beautiful part of it. And I'm seeing both parallel lines. So the Spanish line and the Dutch line very clearly. That's amazing. That shows a lot of process. Yeah. It's amazing.
Is it something you have to actively chase to have both cultures basically brought to them? Because I can imagine it can be maybe a bit hard because you're living in the Netherlands, but you also want to preserve maybe some of your heritage, of some of Spanish culture.
I think that comes naturally.
Okay.
I don't want to create it myself. I just want to observe, to let them be, and be the person I am. So, which I said, what I said before, a citizen of the world. I don't want a stamp on them saying, okay, you are Spanish, you are Dutch, because they have Spanish roots, but they are being raised here in the Netherlands. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to have that duality. Like, it's good to see them as Willem and Nassau. They are special themselves individually, also together. But that's also a very funny exercise for parents of twins. Always the trend to put them in a package, and they are two children. They are different. Two individuals with their own qualities and their own skills, their own talents, and their own tastes also. And in our case, they are completely different from each other. They are opposites. One loves salty, the other one loves sweet. One loves sleeping, the other one doesn't want to sleep. It's really the opposite. There's only one thing, seriously, I'm saying this seriously. We have tried to find things that they have in common. There's only one.
Oh, really?
The car, traveling by car.
Yeah.
They love it, which is great for us. Actually, we are going to Spain by car.
Oh, by car.
Quite risky. I'm a bit nervous, but let's see how it goes. But yeah, they love it. Nice. They love it.
And have you ever used the car as a
yes
as a thing to have them sleep?
Yes.
Like driving around and then coming back.
And to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Because they are also not only in the no time, like no, this no, niet doen, ta-da-da. Every time they challenge because they want to also protect their borders and they want to test you constantly. But also, I was saying something about I don't know what I was saying.
The car ride.
Yeah, that they want your attention constantly.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I want to say. They want your attention. So Jordi and I cannot have a conversation. And we explain, hey, Papa and Mama want to have a conversation now. You can talk to each other and leave us, in our space. And of course, you can explain because it's good to explain. But to the point that they let you be, or that's different. So it's very challenging to have a conversation together as adults. And then what we do is we go to the car, we take a ride, and if they don't fall asleep, at least they are looking around. They feel relaxed, and that's beautiful. That's nice. So you see us in the car, like talking, like parked even, like with the motor running, but we are parked and we are just talking. And the baby's behind. So that's the.
Yeah, and that's it has a close link to what you said before about adjusting to your kids. Some parents, I've heard parents say the kids have to adjust to you, and some parents they say I think you need to adjust to your kids and find a solution because I'm the guide of my kid, the lifetime guide of my kid, and so it has a good link to adjust. Okay, I see a problem. I want a conversation. I see the problem that I cannot have a conversation at this moment, at this time, in this place.
Yeah.
What's the solution? Oh yeah, they love car rides. Let's go to the car. Let's go.
It doesn't hurt. It's just you give that time for yourself also. while they are enjoying. There's a controversy in what you just said about, adapting to each other. Of course, ideally, you adapt to each other. So the kid adapts to you and you adapt to the kid. Well, to a certain extent, because when they are so young, and so young, I mean until 5 or 6, that they start reasoning and that. I think the parent is the one who needs to adapt to the kid. And I'm not saying not putting rules or not setting boundaries, but the priority is the kid. Those parents who say, kiss the grandma or kiss grandpa, or don't tell them to kiss someone if they don't feel like it. That's too invasive. Or taking the kid, I'm just giving examples to make it more practical, but just taking the kid because you want him or her to sit on the couch. That's their space. Do not invade. We are used to, and maybe that comes also from past generations, because of course there was a point where, I don't know, you do it with all your love, but you do it for yourself. You don't do it for the kid. And indeed, there are certain things that they need to comply with, which is we wake up, you have certain routines that they need to follow, and that's very healthy. But there's this invasive behavior from the parent that is not really, I don't think that's favorable for their development. What do you think about that, Michael?
Yeah, I think that the part that you said, we do everything for ourselves. If we, for example, see a kid playing in the playground, and I see my son doing something that I don't like, but maybe he does, let's say have a toy and then rings the bell ding 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 ding. Only he is playing on himself, and also enjoying himself. And I'm the one indeed not dealing or coping with the sound. So I tell him, no, don't do it. So I take away his joy. So I think that it's
and of course it's a balance, because you're also a person. You also have your own needs, and as I say, we are first ourselves and then parents. It's not parents and then ourselves, because then we are lost. We go back again to the same point. But indeed, if you are telling your kid not to play with the sand or not to play with because he's going to get dirty, and then you need to wash the clothes, that's pretty selfish.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you cut those, you limit that creativity, that learning, so in that sense, and in general, I'm someone who goes with the flow, and I have my limitations also.
Yeah, I'm all about indeed what you say, balance, or giving and receiving. And so I on purpose don't say taking, because taking is really negative. I don't take, I only give and I receive. Giving is giving his space and his joy to ring and make noise. Okay, this is his thing. But let's agree that I would tell him, okay, let's you can play for an hour. Let's do something else afterwards on a positive note.
Very nice.
And then we're gonna do something different.
That's beautiful.
Or and some everything is a game. Also learning, also from my adult life. Everything is even doing this podcast. I can see as
It's a learning. It's a learning. Sharing.
And let's play, okay, now you make noise. What you want, the most noise you ever want to make, do it. With everything you got, I will give him this joy. And then afterwards, we're gonna play the silent game, for example. You know, and then we do both of the things, and eventually, it's the key thing is to go to bed, and everyone is happy,
satisfied,
fulfilled. You know,
fulfilled.
that's it. Yeah. And
Yeah.
having to say no, that's
That's too limiting, and
yeah, I think it's indeed really selfish. What you said. Yeah.
I noticed it already with my daughter. My daughter turned 1 last week.
Oh,
so she's
Congrats.
congratulations!
Thanks,
Yeah.
So, but she obviously she's not talking. She starts like gibbering a little bit, and she's not walking really, but just learning how to stand. But you already notice from early on the personality traits that she has.
Oh, yeah.
So and she takes away a lot of my personality traits, because I really like to be on the sidelines, and like I like it when it's fun and when a lot of people around. But I'm not really like in the middle of the group, so to speak. I just enjoy the company. I enjoy the company. Yeah. And when she's like my mother lives nearby, and my mother also takes care of her when we're working like 2 days or 1 day in the week. It depends on which week. And then, but she also takes care of my nieces and nephews, who are from my sisters as well. So it's really fun. But they're all like 3 years and older. So, but she really likes it. But she's just like sitting in the corner with her toy, and she's just watching the other kids play. And yeah, I have noticed like other parents often say, "Oh, why don't you play with them?" Or just or they ask other kids, "Yeah, just play with my kid, just do." But she's fine on her own, just playing and watching, and she really enjoys it. And yeah, of course she can I can't measure how happy she is or anything like that in that case. But I think, okay, well that's her comfort zone. That's
it.
That's her thing. Yeah.
She chooses.
Yeah.
They cannot speak at that age, or they cannot let you know. Well, they do in a way. Clearly what they want, but they make choices, and we need to respect that, because we think we are more mentally resourceful, but they are more intelligent than we are. So we have those thoughts, you know, like what is good, what is bad, who is saying what is good, what is bad, or what is... It's like, or this education system that we have nowadays, that from the very beginning, they are putting you in the box of that society that claims extroverts, that claims people that are complying with the norm in the sense of moral, or... as long as you have respect for the others, I mean, be the person you are. Yeah. But if you realize, like from the very beginning of our education in schools, with all my respect, because I'm saying this with all my respect, but there's something that catches my attention in the sense of they are evaluating us constantly with marks, with numbers, but marks that are the result of something that this society is asking us to do. Yeah. Not marks of how much you are yourself, or how much you are I don't know how to explain this, but we should first not get marks, and second, we should be stimulated with far from competition,
I just wanted to say that.
Far from failures. What is a failure? And this sounds like a cliche, but who's saying that is a failure? Yeah. If you have chosen that path, and perhaps there was something more efficient or something more, but you have chosen that path. You have learned that. If you would have chosen the other one, there was no learning. Yeah. So there's always something to learn from, and we make mistakes.
It's always performance. It's too much performance based.
Yeah.
Things, and also what I think about what we are talking about right now is we also have that in our adult life, and it comes to personality traits and also communication and communication styles, and in the regular company, business or work, you often hear also people saying to, like, you have observers, you have people that who like to stand in the middle of the crowd, on stage, everything. You have a lot of different persons, and their personality traits, and also communication. And often here in companies, like, this guy needs to be more assertive, or this girl needs to be more assertive. But it's really the like, I always, we also do trainings. I've done some training, and the people that are sitting and watching, most of the time have the best feedback to give the trainer, because the people that are observing are really observing to learn, to catch everything, every information, and indeed to learn. Yeah. So the people that are quiet are mostly the ones that pay the most attention. Yeah. And so it's I don't know where the society brought us, but it's, yeah.
And if this society was healthy, was looking at each individual by their own individual aspects, and we standardized everything. So everything is standard, and we need to fit in that standard. Otherwise, you don't fit.
No.
Yeah.
And I think that's really a shame. At home, going back to my personal situation, I have probably the best experiment ever, because I am raising 2 kids, 1 girl and 1 boy. They are being raised by the same parents, same person, same environment, same financial circumstances, same cultural circumstances, like mixing Spanish and Dutch, and they are being raised in the same conditions, and they are completely different. How amazing is that? That's the proof.
Do you see difference? Talking about differences, do you see difference in raising from like the Spanish kids? How you were brought up, and Dutch kids? Do you see the difference there?
Yes, I do.
And do you combine the two, or?
In this case, I try to get the best of both worlds. In my opinion, because this is only my opinion, Dutch culture brings richness in terms of freedom, in terms of self-sufficiency, in terms of respect of own privacy and own space as an individual, which is for me a diamond. Having that is a diamond, because that respect is closer to that idea of not standardizing, so that everyone acts and does things the way they feel, they sense, and they think. Without norms, without rules that bring you back to the same road as the rest, because we are killing creativity. We are killing the thinking out of the box. We are, and that is something that I'm learning and that I'm trying to establish at home. Even though my culture and that sense of overprotection, of the way we approach our kids in Spain, the sayings, if I really think about it, and now living here is when I realize about that, is really negative. It's like, watch out or you're going to fall down. Watch out or you are going to, or, like very, very negative, very catastrophic.
Yeah. Okay. So, if you do this, then this is the consequence. If you do
but you there are transferring your own fears to your kid. You are setting limitations for that kid. And that doesn't mean, now we go to the other extreme, that you let the kid do whatever he or she wants. No. There are certain things that it's better to watch out. And there is a consequence, but you are going to tell them differently in a way that they understand, okay, now instead of doing this way, let's try to do it this way. And you'll see that you go faster, that you're going to get better results, that you are going to, so you try to stimulate that in them. Do you see that? Do you see that can happen? But it's less fear. And in the Spanish culture, there's a lot of overprotection. And because we've been again, talking generally and with all my respect to the roots, we are too attached to the familiar space, the comfort zone. The one who is stepping out of that comfort zone is really up in the hill, like, whoa. And of course, I'm talking about, I was born at the beginning of the 80s, so nowadays is different. But I think we are, it holds me back in some way. It brings back my own resources and my own freedom in the creativity and in the spirit. So I try to just learn. And on the other hand, in Spain, I think the grandparents are a pillar for babies because of the support of the families. And here I only have the feeling, that's my feeling, that grandparents have their own space and the parents also. So the responsibility only relates on is on the parents, and the grandparents are just part of, like, someone who is visiting you, or maybe I'm mistaken, but
this is what you see.
It's what I see, it's what I feel, compared to, because in Spain it is true that grandparents take responsibility of the grandchildren as if they were their children, their own children.
I think I see also the respect from grandparents, like, you are the parents, so you decide what we can do when we can pass by. That's indeed something more common indeed in Holland. And often it's also the other way around, that the parents are really the ones that also raise the kids with the grandparents and the parents. But most common is
that each, but that also brings.
What do you think?
I'm just thinking about usually when there is like the examples we're having, like in the Netherlands, it's maybe more. It can be experienced a bit more distant or a bit more detached from everything, and in Spanish or other cultures, I think Indonesian culture has a lot of overlap. You're one family. Everyone is a part of a family. Has its benefits, has its. But I'm trying to think. Okay, what's like usually when something is maybe frustrating, it's because you went too far in a certain aspect. So let's say in the Netherlands, you think it's really important to have maybe a child that's self-sufficient, or that the parents are given space to explore on their own. If you take that too far, you might get a bit more distance. Exactly. It's being more distant. Or maybe in other cultures where you have one family and you do everything together. If somebody steps out, you want to call them back because that's and then you say, well, don't go there or don't do that. So I'm thinking, okay, well, is there some way to mix to get to the core values, because on one hand you want to make them self-sufficient, but you don't want to be distant. On the other hand, you want to have a oneness as a family, but you don't want to maybe like smother them or be greedy with them, so to speak. So I'm just thinking, okay, is there a way to find out the underlying thing that maybe we're missing? Because we're trying to quantify everything, we're trying to give everything numbers, make things yes or no, because we have we talked about education. It's always putting things in boxes. And I think we're with this, it's also the same, that we have some core values, but we only are able to put into words the I don't know. I don't know if I'm making sense, but
it does make sense, and it's a difficult. The answer is kind of complex because.
Sorry.
Well, no. It's always very interesting. I think it's just a matter of looking at each role with respect in terms of I have my own space, their grandma has her own space, their father has his own space, their granddad has his own space. So, and each of us will give love enough and we will feel involved at the level of your role without losing that unity, that alignment in who we are as a family, but letting the children decide by themselves if they want to go abroad or if they want to be more, or if they are more extrovert or less extrovert, or just understanding each other. I think that's the core value in all what we do, And as a family, of course, I have my fears, but I need to be aware of them if I want to have a healthy relationship with both my parents and my children. Yeah. Because I'm also radiating those fears to my parents at the same time. Yeah. Those fears that we have talked about towards our children, we are also radiating that to our parents. Yeah. Yeah. It's really a connection. There's a connection.
It goes.
Yeah.
Do you think that because I think a couple minutes back in the podcast we were talking about parents should adapt to their kids because I think parents are able to, and or at least they should be able to be more adaptive and to take more things into consideration and to balance everything out. I think that also applies here for in everything, basically the ability to adapt. How is that something that you could maybe pass on to your children, or how can you introduce it into your family? I think because ideally you would want that your kids maybe adapt a bit more to you and you a bit more to your kids, but your kids aren't maybe able to because they're still too young and they're still figuring everything out. So you have to compensate for that maybe in a bit more of a sense, and maybe with the rest of your family as well. But are there ways to maybe, I don't know, how do you stimulate adapting to other people or without losing boundaries?
So not adapting the kid, letting the kids adapt, but really the adults.
Well, yeah, that too. But how do you stimulate just adaptation for, like, how would I inspire my 1-year-old to adapt? I don't know how.
I think my
leading by example.
For me, it's my simplest answer is I lead by example, and by showing how I adapt to several situations, things that happen daily, they learn. Yeah. So when I, let's say, when I drop the glass on the ground, I have a lot of possibilities to react. And in a split second, I choose one of the 100 possibilities. I choose. And I'm aware that I can choose and adapt to the situation. So I can choose to adapt like, this was this is a wrong mistake. Well, I clean it up like this. That's a solution today. He adapts to this situation.
Putting things in perspective.
Okay, he said mistake. Okay. I can also choose like, oh my God, what the...
A drama.
Yeah.
And then they think, oh shit, when I drop my glass, I also need to shout. And so I think that...
Or I'm not allowed to drop my glass.
Yeah, even further.
And that applies to the way they see me looking to my parents, so to their grandparents, and how the grandparents behave towards us, because remember that this is an exchange, so it's a dynamism. It's not only one way, it's both ways, and it's evolving. So the relationship is evolving and it's hopefully improving. So all those limitations that I had with my parents, that probably my parents had many more with theirs, and so on, they are decreasing because we are more in that sense, what we want is to improve the self-awareness and the connection with others in the years, along the years. And there were many beautiful values back then. In my opinion, the relationships, there were lots of, in general, I'm talking, there probably are many families with, and that's not the case. In my case, the limitations in terms of communication, there was not so much freedom back then in Spain. So my parents with their parents, the communication was pretty limited in that sense. So a lot of respect, much more than what you see nowadays with some parents and children. It's evolving. So it's changing, and hopefully we can make it happen at the healthiest level. And there's still a path to go through, but still
and making then a bridge to your coaching project. So you're at this moment you're a coach. And are there things that you already see in your coaching business, I call it, that already applies to adults and also to kids?
I'm not specialized on
what
children.
Type of coaching?
What I do, well, I've been a people man. Well, I'm passionate about helping people and seeing. I truly believe in the essence of everyone, in the light inside everyone. Since I was really young, and now, well, I have someone who is not my friend, used to be my friend when we were 6-7 years old, and he was, I think, going through a bullying or something. I was not aware of that. I was 7 years old, but in a way, I sensed something. He texted me not long ago, saying that thank you. It was really fulfilling. That message made, I think, I take it along my career because I realized that I've been like that, helping people. I'm inclusive. I'm not someone who likes putting people apart or judging or something. It's just part of my essence, which is helping others, supporting, and making them or helping realizing about their own skills, their own light. For those who don't know or have difficulties to know, because they are also in a chaos or something. And with my experience with my experience as a people manager, and also that increased the spotting talents and everything, and creating connection among people, in the same team, having the skills to change the dynamism, in that, or the synergy within the team. That's beautiful. That's really amazing. Always for positive, of course. With that, I moved to the coaching world, which is amazing. And I don't know, I'm more and more interested in psychology and all that. If I had the experience and the self-awareness back then, probably I would have gone to psychology. I also studied tourism and communication, and I don't know, I think it's all adding value, because it's all adding value, but my path is on the psychology, and it's never late. So I start with coaching, which is, as I say, really, really fruitful and very fulfilling to me. And who knows? But I'm a lifeline coach, and I say lifeline coach because people want to know which type of coach you are. And again, we're putting us into boxes. Of course, I have my specialties. I'm expert in certain areas, but there's that part of professional coach or life coach. But for me, work and life, private life, I mean, if you're not happy at work, how can you be happy at life?
It's all in balance,
And life is life is the whole thing.
I've had a conversation with a coach before, and he told me I talked about coaching and his type of coaching, indeed, the box. And he said, and this really got me. He said, "Well, I'm a coach,
Period.
and I'm a coach every single second of the day. I'm a coach, so it's not a job from 9 to 5. It's always and every time when I speak to whoever, I'm a coach." And that's, I think, the essence of being a coach, indeed. Yeah. And I'm making also the possibility that you gain financial from it.
Exactly.
And that's something that you
need to get some, I mean,
exactly.
You have a purpose and you have enough in terms of fulfillment, personal fulfillment and professional fulfillment, but there's that exchange of I'm giving you something, you are giving me something, because that's also healthy for the relationship.
Yeah,
otherwise there would be no boundaries. Also, when I set an hour, it's from this time to this time. I'm not going over a minute. Of course, if the situation, I'm talking in general, because that's my job is to take as much advantage as possible from that hour. And being efficient means within that hour. Otherwise, where do you set the limit? So that's just a little example of how it works. That's the exchange part.
Yeah.
If I'm giving you something, how are you going to commit?
Yeah.
So there must be something.
Yeah, there must be a commitment.
Yeah.
When
and that changes because I've done both. Like at the beginning, when you are training, you need to find a client and you need to start working with that client free of charge because you're not yet. And I don't know. In a way, the person who is not paying is less committed.
Yeah.
The accountability part is at a different level.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's important. I think that exchange is important also because I want to value what I do.
Yeah. Yeah, what you care about is what you invest in, I think, eventually. And that could be financially as well. Yeah, why not?
And I think everyone, including coaches, should have a coach in their life. Yeah. As we say, when we as parents, we could also be coaches for our children. Like we are guiding, we are supporting, having the space or giving the space to respect and to let them learn and let them find their way, because eventually what the coach is doing is just helping you to find your own resources. You are not creating a solution for the client. You are just helping them to find their own resources, because I truly believe everybody is capable of so much. Of so much. We are not even aware of that.
I follow a lot of I like to follow a lot of entrepreneurs, and we are having our own Goodcha business.
Yeah, you are a model.
And, I recently found out that the entrepreneurs that inspire me, that they are really like high level. They also have coaches.
Of course.
So even the people that you think, and even like people like Tony Robbins. I don't know if you. People. Yeah.
I think it's just that role in your life that helps you to go back to your own past, to your own essence. So we get distracted by many things during the day, by many things. All those boxes are constantly appearing around. And, well, the coach just brings you back with just questioning certain things. He or she brings you back to where you were at, to your purpose in life, which is the most important. And we also forget about such a basic thing, because you are nothing if you're not yourself. We go back because it's the most essential thing. You are the most essential thing. in your own life.
Yeah.
It's like putting the mask on before you put the mask on others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's why the
Yeah,
parenting
that's a good
part,
one.
that is in the second in the ranking table, it's at the second place. Because first is you. And that's not that you love less your babies or not.
No, but
Your
you're
children.
you're better able to help them if you help yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And what can parents, like viewers, what can they learn from you, or what can they be taught from coaching from you when they have like interest to?
Well, my expertise lays on self-awareness, self-development, career transition also. That was also my own experience, and I got helped by a coach to find talent, your own your own resource, which is the most innate in you that you can adapt to your life, because that's the best way to live, I think, when you are doing something that is according to your purpose in life, which in my case was helping, connecting with others, be really there for people. That's what fulfills me. And that is active in me. It's really something that I need. So I went through that. So I'm also helping people through that. And above all, I'm using the Enneagram, which is this amazing ancient tool for self-awareness.
Do you see the Enneagram? You're the practitioner of Enneagram right now. Okay. In small. Do you see,
know what you're gonna ask.
Do you see which types we are? And maybe in small, what is it? And do you see our types already?
The Enneagram is, to start with, is an ancient tool for self-awareness, very ancient, for self-awareness and for personal growth. So the aim is to help you open your eyes towards yourself, first starting with yourself. I can have an idea of the type you are, but you are the ones who need to say that. I cannot say you are this or you are that, or the Enneagram cannot be used as the Ennea is 9 in Greek, in Greek, and gramma is like a model. So it's the model of the 9 personality types. And that is really general. Of course, there's much more. I'm giving now some workshops about the Enneagram, and I'm working on some material that I'm preparing for after the summer to put online. And I think there's a lot to learn. And if the Enneagram would be more present in our lives, we would grow as a society. Society would be better because it starts with yourself. It starts with looking at yourself, seeing what your weakest points are, or your fears, or your, and it tells you about the strategy behind your behavior. So what is at an unconscious level? So we are talking about really deep self-awareness. There are 9 types. I'm not using the types with titles, as I learned some time ago. Why? Because every name, every title that is given to each type is distracting and has some kind of connotation that I can interpret it differently than you.
Yeah, sure.
So just by the number. And it just talks about the type of strategies that everybody has according to your mechanisms, to your... we are born with a type, and the type goes with us along our lifetime. And it's just that challenge to see yourself, because ideally we would have a balance of the best of each type. There is a path of growth to the best expression of yourself, and there's a place of shadow according to your type. if we realize about this, and I thought that was your question before, we are putting in boxes. Actually, there is a lot of controversy related to the Enneagram, because some people think that the Enneagram puts you in a box. Okay, you are 2, you are 9, you are nana. That's not true. I want to say that just to make it to make it clear that the Enneagram respects every and each individual, and we are all exclusive and unique. The Enneagram, look, those people who think that the Enneagram puts you inside a box or in a pattern, let's say, because I prefer to call it pattern, those people stop learning, are quite resistant to learn more about the Enneagram. Because I know about the Enneagram, I read a lot, I worked with the Enneagram a lot, and above all, because it helped me personally, in my personal life, it helped me to have a better understanding of what my partner thinks, feels, and is attracted.
And the mechanism.
Of the mechanism that he has.
His behavior. And
that awareness, but not only with him, but with my kids. I'm already seeing, and I'm not putting a stamp, I'm just seeing, I'm observing how I am, how they are connecting with each other, and all that is giving me hints. But I will use this tool just to respect their space. If Willem is more introvert, if he needs his space, I'm not going to claim him to approach or to hug or to give more kisses to Nassau, because that's not going to happen. He needs his space, and with love and approaching him in the way the Enneagram is telling, that is going to be more effective and more adapted to his needs. So it's just a matter of knowing that the Enneagram is just giving, it's not putting you in a box. It's just giving us the key to unlock that box where we are already in.
And learn from yourself. And
learn from yourself. We are already, that I learned in the training. Like, it's really important to see that as the key to open your box. We are already in a box. So it's amazing. It's really, really fruitful and really fulfilling. This
nice.
And helping others to at least unleash their resources and taking their hand and walking with them towards their best expression.
Yeah.
And the responsibility is themselves. Each of us is responsible. We need to take responsibility of who we are and how we are doing things. But if you don't start by making yourself aware of who you are, you're not going to get there.
No.
So
Nice.
Yeah.
I think we are in the last part of the podcast.
Already?
Yeah. And we received a question.
Okay.
I have it here in front of me from Kelly Marcis.
Hello, Kelly. Thanks for the question.
From Instagram. And she has actually 2 questions. What is your favorite Spanish saying? That's the first one.
Okay.
Let's start with that one. What's your favorite Spanish saying?
I would go for no dejes para mañana lo que puedas hacer hoy, which means...
Wait. Can you repeat that?
I heard mañana, that's tomorrow, right?
But that mañana is not really... I think in Spain, that's really unfair. That's also generalizing and really judging.
Oh, sorry.
But no, mañana is important. Yeah, it's in there.
Okay.
And what the saying says is, do not leave for tomorrow what you can do today.
Good one.
And this is actually related. This is something that I learned also during my own coaching process. We tend to procrastinate a lot because of our fears, because of our things that our minds somehow create for us and are unreal. So all what we do is real. Oh, what we think it may happen, or it can happen, or because we are not sufficient, or because we are not couple. That's not real. The time management, because I'm not going to leave for tomorrow something that I can do today if I have the possibility to do it.
No.
Because even the small steps today will get me closer to my plan, to my purpose. So I like that sentence because it encourages me to just keep on taking steps, even though they are small, because at this point of my life I have other priorities and I have other responsibilities. And this is something related to my job, to my career. I can have clients, but I have in my head so many ideas, so many things that I will do. But when will I do them?
Mm-hmm.
I need to start now. If I don't start now, when the kids are grown-ups and I will have the time to write a book. I will have, but something else will be there. So I start today.
Nice. And
I have a secret. I'm starting a book also. At night when I have the time. But I take short steps, really small steps towards that, because I want that to happen.
Nice.
So
maybe it's a title already. And can you say the sentence in Spanish and then in English?
Yeah. No dejes para mañana lo que puedas hacer hoy. That is in Spanish. Yeah. And in English is do not leave things for tomorrow if you can do them today.
Nice. Well, good one.
Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly. And the second question is, what is the really the doorslaggevende?
Mm-hmm. The main.
The decisive
decisive factor of starting your own coaching business.
I think
what made you actually decide to start this?
The timing, basically. The timing. It was the opportunity I had to start with this coach who helped me, who made me realize about my own talents, which I was using as a manager, as a people manager. But what I like the most of a people manager is when you can support people for themselves. Of course, in the corporate industry, in the corporate world, you have something else. You have targets. You have, a mindset that is in a box, that is in a restricted path, where you cannot go out of.
Yeah, there are boundaries.
There's boundaries, and the part that I was enjoying the most is the connection with people, the way to enlighten them and be able to making them believe in themselves, that the things that they are doing are great, the things that, and you see people changing, people evolving, people trying things different, but of course within a frame, because you are part of a company. So out of there, with all the freedom, because my coaching is also limitless, no limits, freedom, just you create your own thing according to what you want and feel. Well, that's the best. It's the best. And that was what triggered me. Being with that coach who helped me to see what I like, the core of my values, the core values of my life, my purpose in life. And that I turned into a profession. So.
Yeah, doing something you like.
And that you can live
from
with
that.
And
nice.
from.
Yeah. Maybe we can
and you
live
guys
from our podcast.
because this is amazing, guys. I think I would like to be back.
Oh, sure.
You really. But I have to say that Goodcha is one of the examples to follow in terms of entrepreneur and all that. I think you guys, really, you guys, and I think I told you before, you are an example. You have set certain parameters for you, to move towards, and you are taking steps. And this is one example. This is amazing. And thanks for the time. I think this is beautiful.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Really.
With this, there's no better closing than.
I wouldn't say anything else. Yeah, this is perfect ending.
It's you just closed the podcast
The
perfectly.
podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
And for your telling your story. And I think that a lot of people learned from it.
Yeah.
And they can
Contact you.
Yeah, contact you via Instagram.
Yeah.
Is there a website also that they can go
I have
to?
a website where I explain all what I do, and there's a form to contact me, which is aidaalsacoaching.com.
Okay.
It's my own. It's easy to find.
We'll put it in the description. And stuff.
Coaching.com. Go to that. Leave a like for this
Yes, please.
video and subscribe and follow us as well on Instagram. But you already know the ads. I'm sure you do.
You do.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Bedankt voor het kijken. Dit was de eerste in het Engels en wellicht volgende meer.